Hello friends, it's Vervain and my desk is kind of a chaos zone, but you're just gonna have to forgive me. It's all because I have been hard at work making beautiful things in my Imaginarium, and one of the beautiful things that I've been making is this book, and some of the beautiful things that I've been making are in this book. So this one is going to be listed in my Emporium, which will be linked in the description below. So if you're interested, you can go ahead and check it out there. And yeah, let's get flipping. This is actually the second flip through, the second full flip through that I have filmed of this journal, because I filmed one like right after I made it because I was so excited about it. And then I was like, I think I should, like right after I bound the pages, and then I was like, I want to add like more pockets and flips and tags and cards and things, and I just want to flesh it out a little more. So I spent like a week off and on fleshing it out more and more, and I feel like it's really fleshed out now. So here's what this is. This is a tab bound journal. So you can see on the side, this is the spine, and I think this really beautiful visible binding. It's done with washi tape. All the washi tape is secured with art glitter glue, which is super secure, so it should all stay in place, hopefully. We've got some ribbon threads everywhere because that's what it does. And this is in a beautiful, I think, Reader's Digest vintage book cover. So the cover pieces are from an old Reader's Digest book. And then I just finished off, because I cut off the original spine, so I finished those edges with this beautiful fabric tape with the flowers. And then so I've used washi tape throughout for the binding, but to bind the cover pieces on, instead of using the washi tape and glue, I used bookbinding tape, which I have stamped with some of my hand-carved stamps. And you will see that stamped bookbinding tape with various of my hand-carved stamps used throughout the journal as decoration and stuff mostly. But this crystal one I used to attach the front and back covers. I think it's really beautiful. And the closure we have here, this is a sari silk ribbon that has been dyed with cabbage. So this was one of the greener ones, and I thought it just so perfectly matched this cover. So we've got that, and then that is attached to an eyelet here that is, there's a little brass eyelet through the back cover. So it's tied such that there is a longer side and a shorter side, so that when you go to tie it in the middle of the front, they match up perfectly. I totally neglected to mention this while filming, but this journal is 108 pages front and back. So if you were to like go through and number the pages, the front and the back of each page, it would be 108 total pages. And that does include like the envelopes that are bound in as pages, but that does not include things like flip outs that add extra writing space and that sort of thing. And here we go. So this is what happens when you open it. This is more of that bookbinding tape stamped with my hand-carved stamps. We've got a little pocket on the front. Oh, it's starting to rain outside. I kind of hope you can hear it because it's a really lovely sound, but I don't know if you can or not. And I just tucked this really lovely oracle card, Wings of Light, into the front cover. I have not backed it because I thought the back was really cool too, but you could back it if you wanted to journal on it, or you could turn it into a pocket somewhere, or you could just leave it here, or if you are building your own basket case deck, you could pull it out and put it in there. You can do whatever you want with it, but I thought she was really lovely, just a nice thing to tuck in the front here, and I thought she matched the vibes of the book really well. So Wings of Light, and then this is also the stamped bookbinding tape with another one of my hand-carved stamps. And this here, this kind of like wintry tree pattern that I really like, is the original paper that was inside here. So a lot of times with the Reader's Digest covers, or when I'm repurposing a book cover, I'll totally recover the inside of the cover with a new end paper, but I really liked this one, so I just wanted to decorate it just a little bit and leave it mostly original. I cannot promise that this whole flip through will not be as chatty as this has been so far. Yeah, I used like 15-20 different washi tapes in the binding of this, and I was really thoughtful about like which ones I put where and how they matched with the papers, and I just think it's a really fun part of the tab binding. I think it's a really fun part of making a tab bound journal, but it's also a really fun part of exploring a tab bound journal is all the different tabs that you can use. So I love this yellow daisy one. And then this is a die cut frame that I made with some gold is actually gold wrapping paper on top of cardstock. So it could be reinforced, and I think it's really lovely. So that's glued down, and you can do whatever you want in there for your title page. And this is vellum, of course. I love vellum, and I love opening books with vellum because I feel like it lets you see through, but not too much. And it lets you see through the crystals as well. Okay, and then yes, I've made a tab here with some more bookbinding tape stamped with the hand-carved stamps. And we've got some butterfly scrapbook paper. We've got a lovely Oracle affirmation Oracle card from the Shine from the Inside Oracle deck, which has, I don't know if you can tell, it has beautiful holographic edges. And it says, align your intentions with your actions. And I really liked that kind of staring out at you right at the beginning of the journal. One more brief interruption with another thing that I forgot to mention because I guess I had done this flip through before and I just forgot to mention it this time. But another one of my favorite things about the tab binding method is that the tab bound books lay flat at any point throughout the journal. So even once it starts to get full, the binding will actually like expand a little bit. It'll do a little bit of an accordion kind of thing. And you'll notice as I flip through here that there's no part where like one half of the book is kind of like pushing, is kind of like, I don't know, like sitting up at an angle because it's like super full. Like usually in a regular book, I feel like at this point, like the left side would be laying flat and the right side would be popping up a lot. And then at the end, it would be the opposite. With the tab binding, it lays flat all the way through, which is so cool, especially while you're working in it. It's super convenient. This is from my recent batch of cabbage-dyed paper, and I'm so pleased with how this color and this lace pattern came out. It makes me so happy just to look at it and to touch it, and I had to include a piece of it in here. So there's actually 2 pieces of it in here, I think, at least. So yes, there's this one, and then we've got a lovely thank you card, and then on the back of this thank you card I've put this pocket that has a bunch of different tags in it. This is one that's decorated with some of my hand-carved stamps. This is just one made from scrapbook paper. This is just a piece of ephemera from a rose catalog I cut up that you can use if you want. This is a label I made in my die cutter that you can use. And then this is a cute little gift tag that I threw in. So you're free to repurpose those however you want, but I wanted to fill it all up and give you lots of things to play with right from the outset. And then this is an envelope that I made from some really lovely scrapbook paper. And I've just tossed some coffee and tea dyed paper. This one is like really thick cardstock. And then this one has like a little bit of the lace pattern. It's very faint. You get more of like a fun little, almost like, what do you call it? Those fossils? Dendrite. It's almost like a dendritic pattern. But you can see a little bit of the lace pattern as well from the coffee dyeing. I thought that was fun. And we've got a tag page. And then this, oh my God, okay, this is one of the things that I made recently. So I cut up this whole rose catalog, and some of the roses I made into altered paper clips. So that's what this is. This is a paper clip here, and I will take it off for you, but I'll have to take everything out. So this is the altered paper clip. It's just attached with bookbinding tape, which is super secure and helps it not catch as it goes on. So it goes on nice and easy. And because it's on the paper clip, there's a nice little bit of dimension, and I just think that's really cool. And then I put this Xiongmu Oracle card here from the Chris Walter Goddess Inspiration Oracle. And it says, find what is eternal within yourself, Xiongmu, Goddess of Eternity. So we've tucked that on there, on this piece of scrapbook paper, and this is a 2-piece one, so you've got it there, and then it opens here, and this is a really thick cardstocky piece. And the piece of ephemera from that rose catalog that you can play with. More of that bookbinding tape that I stamped. I made a little pocket from a thank you card. I like the thank you. I like having thank you cards in journals because I feel like it's almost like a prompt for like, this can be your gratitude list or where you journal about gratitude or whatever. If you don't like it, you can cover it up with whatever you want, but I also really liked the stripes. And then I turned this paint sample into a beautiful little journal card kind of thing. More of that lace coffee dyed paper, very faint enough that you can write on it really well, but enough that you can see the lace with a little washi tab. And then this is gold embossing from another one of my hand carved stamps, one of my favorites. I have a thing for roses, can you tell? And then we've got, this is a fun little page from the Reader's Digest, A Garden for All Seasons. And I think pages like this are really fun. You can, I mean, I think it's really beautiful just the way it is. Obviously, there's not writing space on it now, but that just means that you can do whatever you want with it. And you can say, oh, I really like this image, so I only want to put stuff here. Or you can like write really boldly in Sharpie, and then it is writing space. Or you can glue writing space down, or you can collage on it, or you can put photos on it. You can do whatever you want, or you can say, I don't like this image at all. I don't like anything on this. I'm just going to paint over the whole thing or collage over the whole thing. And I think that, I don't know, I love pages like this in a junk journal. We've got some little Van Gogh almond blossoms washi tape, and I really love this flower here in the corner. And this one opens up to be all pink on the inside. And so in this little bow paper clip, I've just put some pink parchment paper for you to journal on, and another piece cut out from that rose catalog that I thought really went nicely with this page and was just really gorgeous. But you can do whatever you want with it. And then there's a bunch of pages in this book from the book Paris in Bloom. This is one of them. And I really, really love this book for this sort of thing, because not only are the images totally gorgeous, the pages are totally matte. So you can write on this with whatever you want. It's super, super writable. Or you can collage on it, glue on it, do whatever you want to it. Leave it just as is if you just want to look at it. Do whatever you want to it. But yeah, matte, super writable, super workable. Love them. I just thought this was really beautiful. And then on the back of this one, obviously you can still see all the pretty flower part, but I added a little pocket or tuck spot here and this tag from some scrapbook paper with some more. This, I think all of this, there might be like 1 or 2 pieces of sari silk ribbon in here that aren't dyed, but this one is dyed pink with hibiscus. This one, I want to say, was dyed with either tea or lotus stamen, these kind of creamy brownish, yellowish, warm-toned ones. And then the blue-green is cabbage. And then I'll tell you more if we find more. Another tab from the bookbinding tape on a beautiful, totally matte rose postcard with lots of writing space on the back. There's a couple of these throughout. I made some overhang journal cards, and so on pages where I didn't want to like cover it up, but I wanted to add more writing space, so like I wanted you to have the sheet music if you want to work with the sheet music aspect of the page, but also I wanted to add some writing space. So these open up and they just hang over the top of the page, and you don't honestly even need the paper clip to hold them in place. I just think well, I thought the paper clips that I put in here were really pretty and fun, and so I thought that was another fun thing to throw in, and it does help secure them a little bit. But these are images from the Reader's Digest Garden for All Seasons. Just some really pretty flowering trees. And yeah, this is on watercolor paper as well. So you could watercolor on the inside of this, you could journal on it, you can collage on it, you can do whatever you want. And again, like these images, like I like the images just as they are, but if you want to add quotes to them, if you want to collage on them and add focal points, if you want to add whatever you want to add, you can do that. And then on this side, I glued down this flap of this envelope that I made from a page from the Rose catalog. And then it opens up and there's some fun goodies. All the envelopes in here have some fun goodies to play with. And I will show you what they are. We've got a little, some stickers. All these are stickers. And then this is a piece of parchment looking printer paper that you can journal on if you want. And I thought the inside of that envelope was really pretty as well. Get back, Jojo. Okay. And then we've got this beautiful tag. And I thought the purple roses with the purple butterfly just went together really well. And this lovely tag just out of scrapbook paper. This is thicker scrapbook paper, so it's not backed or anything. I didn't feel like it needed to be. And then these pages are from the introduction to Paris in Bloom. So it's that nice, really high quality paper, but it is just text, which is why I wanted to add like the pocket and the tag. And on this spread, I added some of this silver star tissue paper. The silver stars are a little bit metallic. I don't know if you can tell in this light, but they are. And I feel like this is another sort of thing where like, yeah, it's only muted the text just a little bit, but it's either giving you a really fun background for like collage or adding photos or whatever, or ephemera, Or if you wanted to use a bold pen or marker, you could totally just write on this now. And I feel like it's muted the text enough that that could be writing space. But this is definitely writing space. We've added a little Tim Holtz ephemera bit that I think is really lovely. Some more star tissue on the back here and a pocket from scrapbook paper. And then I've just added this tag that I thought really matched the vibes of the journal. And then this little journaling spot from an old Magic of Eye planner. It says Full Moon Illuminations, the peak, fruition, letting go, shedding. And then it says full moon in Capricorn, but and we've got some other stuff on the back. But you can journal whatever you want on there. And then I just covered up the text on this page. I've used a bunch of pages throughout from this beautiful mushroom postcard book. And I've also included at least 2 mushroom postcards from the book. But the introduction pages were really cool. And then the end pages were this kind of glossy pink, which I thought matched the vibe of the journal. And then on the inside, on this side, it's very matte. And so I just covered up the text with this cabbage-dyed doily that's, again, like perfectly matches this blue-green color. This, oh my God, this is one of my favorite pieces. So the Rose catalog had a bunch of these big clusters and they had words like right through the middle. So this one, I just cut it in half, backed it on some manila folder, and now you've got a flip that's a journaling spot. You could also like add a paper clip and make it into a tuck spot where you tuck other things in. You do whatever you want. But this is another Paris and Bloom page and a little journaling spot with that. Some lovely metallic embossed scrapbook paper. I hope you can see that beautiful shine. It's got this lovely mandala pattern. This is one of my favorite scrapbook paper pattern pieces. This is one of my favorite papers in my collection, and I'm like getting really close to having used it all up, but I thought I would give you a piece because it goes so well in here. And then another piece of the lace-dyed cabbage paper. I think this is the other half of the same sheet, but gosh, it just came out so crisp and lacy and beautiful and blue-green, and I love it so much. And then the inside, yeah, is a little less crisp, so it's a little better for writing, but still just as beautiful. And then we've got another rose postcard here. These are such lovely matte material with another tab with the hand-carved stamp bookbinding tape. Piece of nice thick scrapbook paper with some more of that Van Gogh almond blossoms tape. And then if you remember that thank you pocket from earlier, this tab is made from one of the scraps from that. This is another one of those overhanging journal cards. I will take it off so you can see the page underneath. And we've got this photo here and this photo here. This is from an old kind of like a guidebook to Venice, but it's a really old book and I think it's really cool. It's called Venice and Its Beauty. I always want to say Venice and Her Beauty. And then it's on this kind of warm taupe gray cardstock, which I think is really lovely. And then this is a vintage book page that's really nice and thick. A lot of the vintage book pages are really thin, but some of them are really nice and thick and sturdy, and this is a thicker one. We've got a little hot beverage cup. Another Reader's Digest Garden for All Seasons page. I really love this. Oh, so beautiful. So beautiful. And then I don't remember what book this was from, but I folded up the bottom, made it into a pocket page, and tucked this guy in for a little writing spot. Maybe we should, let's just tuck another, just to fill it up a little more, let's just tuck another tag in there. And that matches really well. I just did this one with permanent ink and a brush on here. I'll add some ribbon to that. See, I can't work in these things without adding to them. I just can't resist. This is some more of the pink hibiscus dyed. Sorry, silk ribbon. Okay, just be patient with me for half a second. The pink was the obvious choice for this page, right? And there you go. Now the book comes with one more tag than it did a minute ago. Okay, and then when I was talking about how the mushroom postcard book had all these really fun intro pages, they all have this fabulous brown mushroom frame, and I love it so much, and it makes me so happy. So I've left these just as is, because I thought, I don't know, like you might want to cover this up for sure. I totally get that, but I think it's so fun to like read them first. I don't know. When you have like these reused things, I don't know. I just think that's really fun to be able to read the stuff that was part of it and like kind of connect with the history of all the books that made this book, and then decide what you want to keep and what you want to cover. Oh, I just love the mushrooms, and I love all the plants, and I love all the flowers. Oh, look at that. More hymnal sheet music. This is some of my hand-dyed paper, the eco dye with this is like boiled book style if you want to look up how to do this sort of thing. And so you're like layering pieces of paper with tea and with like leaves and flowers from the garden or from the yard or wherever you're foraging from. And so the tannins in the tea help to bring out the natural dyes in the leaves and create beautiful like leaf and flower prints. And so we've got some dewberry leaf here. I don't know what kind of leaf this was, but it's left a really lovely impression. More dewberry leaf. Oh, I'm running so low on these papers, and I'm gonna have to make more this year, but I just love using them. And they have this really lovely soft texture to them because of everything that they've been through. Another little Magic of Eye planner clipping. And I think this is the third and final of the overhang cards here. This is another vintage book page from that same book, so it's still quite thick and sturdy. I put these all in backwards because I really liked having the torn edge on the outside, and then the perfectly straight edge was easier to bind with, but I just love the torn edge. So this one is totally blank. This one just has the contents on it. And then this one is on this kind of warmer camel neutral cardstock. And we've got this garden picture here and this garden picture here. And I think they look really lovely. And we've just got that hooked on there with a little cat clip, which I think is really fun. And then we've got another handmade envelope from scrapbook paper. My light is kind of going. I hope the lighting is good enough for this video. But I feel like that's better than having a lot of glare from my overhead lamp as long as we have daylight. And it's got this little collage cluster on it. This is checkerboard from more of my hand-carved stamps. This one is full. This one is like the most full of all the fun stuff of everything in this book, I think, of all the envelopes in this book. Yeah, that's all of it. Okay, so we'll walk you through it. We've got you an extra piece of cabbage-dyed lace paper that I did have to fold up to fit in the envelope. Sorry, but yeah, still totally usable and totally gorgeous. We've got just some craft paper. We've got some gray damask cardstock scrapbook paper. Some scraps of a lot of the papers that I used in this book. If I had to trim them down and they were fun, I put them in here. So this is some more of that boiled book eco dye, some more of the coffee lace dye with that dendritic pattern, some more of the boiled book style with tiny dewberry leaf, some more of the damask gray cardstock. I was going to use this one as a page and then ended up not, but I still thought it went with the vibe well enough, and you should have it. Another little piece of it. This is from the cover stock of the Rose catalog, so it's just a nice little photo clipping, but it's on really nice thick paper, so do with that what you will. And then two more scraps from that thank you card. And then this is from a pocket that I had pre-made the pocket, and it was too wide for this book, so I had to cut it down and re-ink it and re-round the corner. But I thought this scrap you could use as like a little tab somewhere, or collage or something. Anyhow, I thought it was fun. And then 4 pieces of my absolute favorite thing to use lately, which is this bookbinding tape stamped with these hand-carved stamps. So we've got this Harlequin pattern with my little diamond stamp. We've got this gorgeous flower pattern with my flower stamp. We've got this star pattern that I felt like this was the one originally that this was like the only one that I planned to use with the book because it reminded me of these little stars on the front. And we've got some in the front cover, and I just decided it went with the whole vibe of the book so well, I had to give you the rest of it. I can always make more, but you can't get this anywhere else. So, and then some mushrooms. How could I not give you the mushrooms, which again, there's one mushroom on the front inside cover. There might be one somewhere else in here. I don't remember. But I thought I'd give you the rest of the strip that I made to play with. So there's all that. I've got a little chick with a flower on its head hiding under the envelope flap. So cute. I really love this paper. With this little bird's nest washi tape. Another Paris in Bloom page with beautiful, probably cherry blossoms, I feel like, and some sort of other blossoms on the open side. And then on the back here, I've added the other half of that rose flip. So again, it's backed on manila folder, so it's super sturdy, ready to journal on. Love this washi tape. And just, oh, I just think these roses are just stunningly gorgeous. And then this is another one from that mushroom postcard book. So on this side, you've got the fun mushroom border, but on this side, like this kind of introduction to the book is in the shape of a mushroom. And I just thought, how cute is that? That has to go in a journal. So there with another one of my favorite washi tape patterns of all time. Some more dewberry leaf eco-dyed paper. God, I love it. And some more of those other leaves here on the back. And then we've got another page from that same vintage book with another tag that I hand painted with the permanent brown ink. And this is just a little glittery, I guess it's a journal card. It's made from a nice thick cardstocky scrapbook paper. It's got a little world globe map on it, all glitter and pink and just pretty and matched the vibe of the journal. And then these glittery flowers for this pocket. And then yes, here's one of the mushroom postcards. I think I tucked them both at the back for some reason. When I'm binding them, I just want to make sure that each page looks like it goes with the next page, and that like anywhere you're open in the book, it looks like it all goes together. And sometimes that ends up with things being really well distributed throughout, and sometimes that ends up with things being really close together. So there's that. I love the backs of these postcards too. And then this one, I'll take it out. This is just some vintage or antique book pages. This is a quite old book, 18 something. It was The Adventures of Ferdinand Count Fathom. And I've used a lot of these book pages in a lot of things, but I thought you could use some of them in some collage or however you want to. So I folded those out and tucked them in there. Some more hymnal paper. This was like a backing in a pack of washi stickers, but I thought this was a really cool color and pattern. It's very nice, thick cardstock. And then on the back, it's got all the butterfly images from all the stickers that came in it. And I thought that was so pretty. So you can do whatever you want on here. You can add writing space, or you can add a pocket, or you can do whatever you want. You can even cover the butterflies if you want, but I couldn't bring myself to cover the butterflies. This is the envelope that actually came with the thank you card, this thank you card that's up front. I love the card. I love the envelope. I had to give you both. I just separated them. More Van Gogh washi tape. And then I've packed some fun little collage-y bits in here. This little magazine clipping that says "We are more than a moment" in neon. I think this might be my last piece of... No, I still have more of this one. Okay. But I gave you a little piece of the bookbinding, the cloth tape that I used on the covers here. And then some gray cardstock, kind of heathered gray. And then some green paper from a book. It's from a National Geographic magazine, bit of a landscape. Kind of in colors that matched the vibe. Go in there. Get back, Jojo. Some of this parchment printer paper, parchment looking printer paper, I should say. Because I also use like proper parchment like printer paper. But this is like printed to look like parchment. This is like parchment like paper that is pink, and it's got that mottled, like the way the light comes through it. I don't know if you can see that, but I really love that type of paper. I use a lot of it, but I thought I would give you some. So there's that. Another mushroom postcard here. I really love this one. And then here you can see this crystal stamped bookbinding tape again with this last hymnal spread. And then here in this back pocket, this is the pocket that I had to trim down that scrap is from. I've put a piece of ephemera, I guess, a picture from the Rose catalog that I thought was really pretty, and I thought you could use it, and it matched the vibe of the journal. This one's decorated with more of that hand-stamped bookbinding tape that I just love. And I had to give you a piece of my most recent project, which is I have been weaving paper, and I have been making journal cards and stuff. And this one was, I made a pink one that was really narrow and long, and so I cut it down into kind of a smaller journal card and a really small journal card. And I thought this one was so beautiful. And the paper weaving is just so time and labor intensive, but I just, you know, I had to share it with you. It's so beautiful. So these are all woven paper strips. Some of this is from this same hymnal. Some of these are from the Rose catalog. This is more of that. Some of these are from the teapot calendars from my mother. And then it's backed with that parchment looking printer paper. And all sewn around the edge with this lovely mossy green thread. So there you go. That's the journal. I'm calling this the Spring Awakening journal. That's just kind of the vibe that I feel like is here. Not like Spring Awakening the musical, but like Spring the Season Awakening. And yeah, this one, so you will notice usually in all my videos when I'm showing you my journal flip throughs, I'm like, this one has the same style of closure as all the other journals, where I use a post here and then you tie it around and then you can just loop it over, and that way you don't have to tie it and untie it every time. With the tab bound journal, because of the way the spine is, if you just close it here, you see what happens. I feel like this is left kind of vulnerable, and I feel like it's better. Like, I want this to be visible because it's gorgeous. So I don't want to like cover it with something else. And I like that it's expandable, because then as you kind of fatten up the journal by adding more stuff to it, it can expand with you. And I think that's a really cool benefit to it. But I think that just for security and protection, it's better to have something that wraps all the way around it to close it, instead of having a closure just over here. So that's why this one has the different style of closure. I did experiment with a couple different ideas when I made my own first tab bound journal, which I'll do a flip through of soon. This was the one that I landed on that I liked the best. So I think even though you do have to tie and untie it every time, it is worth it to protect the journal and to have it just be as stunningly gorgeous as I think it is. And I hope that you also think it's beautiful. And again, if you are interested in this journal, it will be listed in my Emporium, which will be linked below in the description. If it's not in the Emporium, that's because it's sold. So yeah, thank you so much for checking this out and for watching this video with me and hanging out with me today on this rainy, not very sunny February Texas afternoon. I hope you're having a wonderful, magical day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.